Hello and welcome to Rahman Digital Production. In today's lecture, we will talk about the second primitive loop that is called while loop. True. The body of the loop will be executed until the condition is true. Let's directly write a program that is x is equal to 1, and that is a counter variable whose values is 1. This particular line is called initialization, and this is the testing condition, and this is the incrementation. As I told you in the earlier lecture, there are three things must be available inside any loop, and that is initialization, incrementation, and testing condition, and this is a perfect example of that. So x is equal to 1, and we are testing the condition until the value of x is less than or equal to 10. Print x and increase the value of x by 1. So in the first test it will be 1 is less than or equal to 10. It is true, so it will print 1, and then x will be increased, and again it will be checked. Remember, the initialization is performed only once in the lifetime of the loop. Again and again it is not initialized. So 2 is less than 10, so it will print 2 and increment. So let's do this program directly on the IDE, and right click and run the Python program, and it is giving you 1 2 3 4 5, and 5 will be there. So it means that x is equal to 1, and while x is less than or equal to 5, it will print the value of x. When the value of x is greater than 5, then it will stop running this body of loop, and the next available line will be executed. So that is the whole story of the while loop. And here let us do the second technique, adding elements in a list using the while loop. First of all, I am declaring a list which is my list, and it is empty. So x is equal to integer input, enter the element. So it will ask me to enter a value for x. Whatever value you are entering, I want to add this to the list. So my list dot append x. Append means to enter at the end of the list. So first value will be added manually, and other values I want to add it through the while loop. So if the user is entering here 5, 5 will be added here. Due to this append x, this append x is also written here. So I is equal to 0, that is the initialization, and the length is another function which will tell you that how many elements are there in the length. Because I want to add only 4 elements inside this, so I am saying that less than 4. So the length of my list in this case will be 1, because one item is added, and that is due to this particular statement. So 1 is less than 4, it is true. So again it will ask you to enter an element, and that element will be added to the my list at the end, and 1 will be incremented. So it will be 1 this time, because initialization give us 0, and when I increment the value of I by 1, it will become 1. So length of my list this time is 2. 2 is less than 4. So it will ask, the body of the loop will be executed until the value of this condition is true. It will assign the value to the my list, but it will not print at the end. I want to, when this condition becomes false, I want to print the value of my list, and that is here. Let's do this program also practically. So here I am writing the same program which I explained right now. So let us run this program, and we will give different values to the mylist variable, and it will give, for example, if I am giving 2, 3, 4, 5, and it is added in a list that is 2, 3, 4, 5, and it is printed due to this particular command. So that was the second thing we could do with the while loop. Let's move forward and use a break statement inside the while loop. Break statement is getting you out of the while loop body. Let us observe this program. Initialization n is 1, testing condition is 5, 1 is less than 5. So print iteration number 1, and it will print 1 because the value of n is 1, and it will be incremented, and when it is incremented it will test the condition. If n is equal to 3, then it will break the sequence of that while loop, but in this case n is equal to 1, it is not true, so it will go to increase one value and test the second condition. So 2 is less than 5, and it will print iteration number 2, and it will increase it. This condition is false, again it will go to 3, and it will print iteration number 3, and n is equal to n, it will become a 3. So n is equal to 3 means that it is equal to 3 and condition is true, and it will break, and it will come to this particular command, and it will say oops, sequence has been broken after iteration n minus 1, because it is here n plus 1 is equal to 4, because n is equal to n plus 1, and that is equal to 3. So when 3 is there, I want to tell the user that n minus 1, which will be 2, has been broken. And here is the break command. I explained it here. Let us run this program, and after running the program, it is printing 1 and 2. The first iteration, n is equal to 1, so 1 is less than 5. It will print the value of iteration number 1, and n will be increased, and that will be 2. So 2 is less than 5, so it will print iteration number 2, and n will be incremented by 1, so it will become 3. And here I am saying if n is equal to 3, which is true, break the sequence of this loop, and it will come directly here, and oops, sequence has been broken after iteration number n minus 1. If I'm not using n minus 1, it will say you that iteration has been broken after sequence number 3, which is not correct. We only printed two values, so I used n minus 1 here so that it will print 2. That oops, sequence has been broken after iteration number 2. Okay, continue statement in the loop is playing the role if we want to bypass an iteration, then we are using the continue statement. For example, n is initialized here while n is less than 5. So if n is equal to 2, which is not true in this case because n is equal to 1. So it will test this condition. This condition is not true. So it will print the iteration n is executed. And after that, it will go to increase the value of n by 1, that will be 2. 2 is less than 5, and here I am putting a condition that if n is equal to 2, then n is equal to n plus 1. Increase the value of n by 1, and it will increase it, and then will continue, will not execute this. It continue will move you to the beginning of line, and it will check that whether 3 is less than or less than 5. Yet is it is less than 5. So Fn is equal to 2, not this case, that is 3. So it will come to print iteration number 3, and it will increment n is equal to n plus 1, and it will go directly to check again. N is 4, 4 is less than, it will print this iteration number 4. So iteration number 2 will only be not executed. Let us run this program and see it in the IDE. So here I am saying that n is equal to 1. I want to bypass n is equal to 2. The second iteration I want to bypass and not let the loop to print iteration 2 is executed. It will never execute iteration 2. What it will do? I am saying that n is equal to 1, so n value is 1, 1 is less than 5. It means that this condition is true, so the immediately the line after the while loop will be executed, and it will check that whether n is equal to 2. No, it is not, so this body will not be executed, and it will come directly to print iteration. The value of n is 1. It will print iteration 1, iteration number 1. Let us run this program and see the result as we are explaining it as well. So you will see that it will print first iteration 1 is executed. So this is and then n is increased by 1. So when n is increased by 1, it will be 2. 2 is less than 5. Yes, true. Then it will check if n is equal to 2. Yes, it is also true. So it will increment n by 1. It will become 3, and continue means don't display this print statement, go directly again. So 3 is less than 5. If n is equal, no it is not, so it will print iteration number 3. So you can see that second iteration is bypassed, and the third iteration is printed. N is incremented by 4, so n is less than 5. It means 4 is less than 5, so it is true, and this is not true, so it will print iteration 4. Now again it will increase by 1. 5, 5 is less than 5 is false, so it will get out of the loop and nothing will be printed. So 1, 3, 4 executed and not 2, because we use continuous statement here. Now let's do further manipulation with the while loop. Also we can use if else statement in while loop. For this, let us write a program. Here I have written z is equal to 1, that is the initial value of the counter variable, and then there is a testing condition. Z is less than 4 means 1 is less than 4, it is true. Then again I am checking if z is equal to 1, print atomic number of hydrogen is 1, and it will be incremented, and it will become 2, and again it will come here, and 2 will be tested. 2 is less than 4. Yes, it is true, so it will check this one. 2 is equal to 1, it is not, so it will go to LF. 2 is equal to 2, yes it is, so it will print atomic number of helium is 2, and here it will increment by 1. Again it will go 3. 3 is less than 4. Yes, it is true. It will check this one, this is false. It will check this one, this is false. It will check the next iteration. If this is false, then it will print this atomic number of lithium is 3, and then it will increase 3 by 1. So when it is increasing 3, so means 4, 4 is less than 4, it is not true, so it will get out of the loop body. Let's write this program. So let us run this program. I explain it, and here it is. Right click and run this program. So it will say atomic number of hydrogen is 1, atomic number of helium is 2, atomic number of lithium is 3. So in this particular fashion they will print. according to this while. So we can use if, elif, and else inside the while loop as well. That was another technique. Now let's go to another technique, Python while loop to print a number series. For example, if I want 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on, or 2, 4, 6, 8. So in this way I can print a series. Here we will learn the end parameter of the print. By default, print is printing one line at a time, and directly it will go to the second line if there is no end. But if there is an end, so I am instructing the compiler to stay at the same line, put a comma, and print all these values of n. So it will be printed in a row wise. Here n is equal to 2 and 2 is less than or equal to 20, true. So it will print 2 and will put comma at the end of this 2, and then it will increment n by 2. So let us run this program as well and see what result it is producing. It will print all the values in the same line. So you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20 are printed in the same line. And that is what we wanted as a list, which is one dimensional array. So let us now go to the next technique, and that is printing the items in a tuple using while loop. Now tuple can be printed in the row format or in the column format, but in the column format there will be no comma. If there is a row format, then there will be a comma. So let us observe this as well. My tuple is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and tuple, the value can be repeated. That is the rule of mathematics. Here no value is repeated, but it can be repeated. So I is equal to 0. Print column tuple is as follows. And while I is length of my tuple. What is the length of my tuple? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 items. So this will give you, this length function will give you 6, and I is 0. 0 is less than 6. It is true. So it will print I first element of my tuple, and it will increase and so on. It will print the value one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's observe it practically. Now right click, run it, and see the result. Yes, it is in column wise. So tuple can be printed in column wise format, but in column wise format there is no comma, as here we can see comma in the program. So that was another technique. We can print the values of tuple inside while loop as well. Another technique is find the sum of the numbers in a list using while loop. For example, if there are 5 elements inside a list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to find the sum of all these values, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So I'm initializing I as 0 and sum is also 0. The initial value of sum and initial value of I is 0, while I 0 is less than length of my list, which is 5. So it is true, and it will print sum is equal to my list I. So the new value of sum will be the older value of sum, which is 0, and plus my list at 0 location, and that is 1. So 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. The new value of sum will be 1, and I will be incremented. This is a counter variable. So this will control the loop. So here it will be 1, and 1 is less than 5. So again it will add at the 1 location, which is 2, with the previous value, that is 1, and 1 plus 2, the new value of sum will be 3, and it will increment to 2, and 2 value position will be added to the previous two values, that is 3, 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, and so on. All the values will be printed. When 5 is less than 5, it is false, so it will come true. This statement, sum of the list element is sum, whatever stored inside the sum, it will be 15. Let's observe it practically, and this is the program which will provide you the sum of the element directly. I am running this program, so it is giving us sum of the list element is 15. Whatever values are available here, it will print the sum of those values. Okay, next is the popping out element from a list using a while loop. Yes, whenever you are entering values in the list, it will be added. First value will be added first, second value will be added second, third value will be added third, and the last value will be added at the end. Popping is a technique in data structure that the last element will get out first and will be printed. The second last, the penultimate one, will be printed second, and the third last will be printed. From this side we will pop one by one the value. Let's write this program as well. I'm taking first the element, that is a string variable in which there are four elements are stored. One is hydrogen, the second one is helium, the third one is lithium, and the fourth one is boron. While elements, it means that until the value of element is true, it means that print element, and pop is a function. Pop is a function which is automatically getting the last value, and that is 5. 5 will get out. It will only be left with 1, 2, 3, 4. In the next iteration, it will get out from the list as 4, and only 1, 2, 3 will be left. So this will print in this particular way. Let us observe this program as well. So here I am saying elements hydrogen, helium, lithium, boron, and exactly in that fashion in which I explained it in the slide. So here you can see boron is popped up first, lithium is second, helium is third, and hydrogen is fourth. Last in, first out. That is a LIFO technique. Here, because there are brackets as well, so brackets will also be popped up from this list. So first we inserted the brackets. When we were writing this particular area, we inserted first the bracket. Two brackets will come down, just like if I am writing it here one bracket, so it will come two bracket. You can see these are braces. So in this way, because first it was inserted this bracket, so it is popped out at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we will come with the new techniques. If you haven't yet subscribed my channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Thank you very much.